We are live in conversation with yet another profound gentleman, Devanand Kolothodi. Awesome Walkers is a platform here to inspire and motivate and to share the stories of successful people who have gone the journey and we learn from them. Welcome, Devanand. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you, Samir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank you. What about you?
Wonderful. So you've been the regional CEO for Aster for how long right now?
Yeah, the regional CEO role is for the last 2 years, but I've been with Aster for the
Okay,
last 14 years. Yeah.
wonderful. Could you
So
share a
I
little
joined
for the context
as a manager. Yeah, go on.
as the managing?
No, no, I joined Aster as a manager in the manager role. I know, and the capacity of a manager in 2009, and then got the opportunity to move to different roles, and now the regional CEO. Yeah, it's the
Wonderful.
last 14
Before
years
we get
journey.
into Aster and before we get into that journey, let's get to know who Devanand is. So, would you like to share?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, sure. So I am from a place called Calicut in Kerala, and uh, born in 1977, so 46 years of age, and born to a middle class family. And my father is no more. He was into a private organization, and I have a sister, married with no children, and now settled in Hyderabad. Mostly, I did my college graduation from Government Arts and Science College at Calicut, and then uh, joined the pharmaceutical sales. That was my first job in 1997, sorry, 1997. And then 10 years I was with Ranbaxy, and then moved into retailing for 2 years with another company called Subiksha, and joined Astra in 2009 as a manager recruitment in India, where I was handling the recruitment from India to other countries. Subsequently moved to a project at Wayanad, which was the dream project of our chairman, Dr. Azad Mukan. This is an educational campus at Wayanad, where we have a medical college, nursing, pharmacy college. It's a 500-acre beautiful campus. I was fortunate to be the first employee there, and then, I was there for close to 10 years. Then moved into Hyderabad as the CEO of the Telangana state. And since 2019, I am the regional CEO of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, manage about 7 hospitals and the labs in this cluster. So that's about the professional and personal journey. I, usually love interacting with people, helping people. Of you, what you do, Samir, in sense supporting, coaching, mentoring people, and also reading, traveling. These are my major hobbies, and I love cooking. So that's something which many others do not try. So I love food. I eat as well as I cook. So these are a few things. Any other specific thing you can ask me?
Beautiful. I could actually go on for an hour talking just about cooking. I just love cooking as well. And what are the dishes you love to cook and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great.
But before we get into that, I see there are a lot of similarities. There's a lot of things that you've given me actually food for thought. And one of the things that actually stood out for me in your profile is how you are into people development. Can you tell us where this journey began from? I mean, I know you got into recruiting and you were getting into people, but where is this urge or desire to help other people become better originate from for you?
Yeah, it is something which has originated from beginning. If people know me from my school and college days, say that I was a very, very introvert person. I had a huge inferiority complex, stage fear, and lack of confidence. A lot of issues I had, and there were people actually who helped me, change myself into a new life personality. Obviously, I would say, because I was really shy, completely introvert. And there are people, including your teachers. There are specific people who I see really, want to name also. Mr. Devaraj was my teacher, was my NCC officer, I would say, in the during the graduation time. He was instrumental in changing our personality, because he brought those people who are introverts, who were having some spark inside, who could lead. He always brought them to limelight. So that was my first leadership journey. And when I realized that there are a lot of people like me who need support, who need guidance, who need mentoring. And I had a very few people. Fortunately, I had some, but some people do not have the fortune to have association with the people who can help. So this is something which I thought, okay, this is something which I can always go ahead and help. And in career also, you look at a lot of my bosses, managers who have been great, guides and mentors. You understand that when you were stuck, there were people to help you. And when you grow up, it is always becomes important for you to reciprocate and give back. So that's what something which has stuck to me. So people development is something which I've taken up from the moment I got a supervisory role. From that time onwards, I've been focusing on that to develop leadership in my colleagues, support them in areas where they are completely having some issues, gaps. So that's something which has been there throughout. And I'm really lucky, or really proud to say that a lot of my colleagues who have worked with me have grown to an extent where I'm really happy for them. A lot of them have gone to a level of CEOs and of different organizations. So you really become proud. You have been at least part of their life. They still connect to us saying that yes, you have been instrumental to push us to the next challenge, or the things they were not very comfortable doing. I was able to push them to that. So that's the only thing I have done. There's nothing. That rest all is theirs, their achievement. But then yes, I've been influential in that way to push them out of their comfort zone. So that's have been the whole thing, and it still goes on. You're
You
in a
still
job
keep
where you
pushing
have
them.
to support people, lead people, support them, and then
Yeah.
yes, still
Yeah.
keep pushing them. Yes.
Uh, do you remember any particular
So
incident
that's
that
about it.
happened? Do you remember any particular incident in your life where it was the turning point for you from being a shy, introverted person to somebody pushing you out of that zone and telling you to do something? Is there any particular event or incident that you remember?
Yes, there are multiple, but one specific thing I remember is that I wanted to become a doctor. That was my dream during my school and college days, and completely focused on studies during my 10th or plus two. It used to be the pre-degree that time. So completely out of the social network, no interaction with anyone, only focusing on studies. And I failed miserably. I did not crack the entrance. So it was a complete debacle for me. And, I went into sort of depression, I would say, because I was hoping that I will somehow get through the entrance, medical entrance. But obviously, I got an admission to engineering because I had taken the max as the subsidiary subject. But then I was so much focused on medicine, I did not take up engineering because, I was totally devastated. And then I went to a zone what to do next, because you are feel 100% confident that you will crack, and then you don't get it. And then I lost confidence, and and then there were people, especially people who supported me, like teachers, family members. My parents have been a very good source of inspiration. They've been motivating. They said that's okay, fine, you can try something else. And that time, as I mentioned, I used to be very shy, but I used to read. So there was a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. So in that, when I was reading that, that was, I think, probably my 12th, just after my 12th standard. One particular statement that stuck to me. I used to be worrying a lot, actually, that time, those times, even though you study and you are also down. So obviously, you keep on worrying about your life. So there was this particular statement where it's mentioned that it's a problem statement, basically, two statements where it was mentioned that if there is a problem and if the problem has a solution, think about the solution and not the problem. That's the first statement. Second statement was if there is a problem which doesn't have a solution, forget the problem. So somehow this particular statement stuck to me. I was thinking that yes, I am worrying about the problems rather than thinking about how to get out of this. So somehow my perspective started changing from then. So now the problems that come to me, I don't consider it as a problem. I consider it as a challenge. I look only for solutions. So that perspective started changing from then. It's a practice, actually. It is last 26 years or 30 years I've practiced that for myself, and I found it to be very really good. That automatically comes in once you start doing it. So this particular incident, added with the support of this book, probably would have, were the turning points, I would say, which completely
Mm.
transformed.
It became your north star. It would, if you had not gone
Yes.
through those worrying phases, probably those two questions would not have landed the way it should have. Also, right?
Correct, correct. It is required. You have to fail in life. You don't fail. That's what I felt. Whatever success I owe it is not because of anything that happened good in my life. It is because of something bad happened in my life. So you learn, you become more content, you become more matured. You have to have failures in life. So that's the feeling I got, and or whatever I've learned is from failure. So that's something which I would say that my life has been failure. I'm not no I'm not having any hesitation to mention that. A lot of failures have happened, but people only see the success part of you, right? So that's what you project outside mostly.
Beautifully put, Devanand. And if I would ask you, apart from this medical entrance which you didn't crack through, what are some other spectacular failures that you wear as a beautiful scar on yourself?
Lot of them, as I mentioned. See, the good thing with the first job that I've got was sales. And sales,
Hmm.
you fail every day. You fail every day. So fortunately for a person like me, it was really a good thing to really compliment what I was going through. So
Hmm.
immediately after the pre-degree, this entrance thing, I got graduation. I completed my BSc graduation. Then somehow I did not even try writing the entrance second time. I was completely out. Then got into sales, and where I was failing every day. You are not able to convert a customer, or you are in desperation. You need sales leads. So every day was failure, I would say. But generally, you talk about it. Yes, the massive failures have not happened much. Yes, there were failures like the interview failures. I think I got a job in my fourth interview. So the interviews were failures. So you keep on learning, right? Keep on learning from the first interview. That was a failure. I was not at all prepared. And the good thing was that, again, you asked about the people development. I still remember Mr. Verma. We still remember him because it was a walk-in interview for a pharmaceutical company called Seagull Pharmaceuticals. So I cracked the group discussion, but I went to interview level. Group discussion was a general topic. Obviously, somehow I got through that. I was never prepared because I saw an ad in the morning newspaper. I just walked in, and he started asking few questions. I was clueless. I did not know anything. Then he said that, okay, you're good, at least in basic general things you are good, but you don't know anything about this industry. You don't know nor you don't know about this job. It's always better to at least understand something and come for interview. And he gave me some good tips during that interview. You should prepare and go. And he took at least 10 minutes time. So that was another thing. You see that you are not selected, but that some good time with you to guide you, since you know that this person is a young guy who can get into something else. And that was a very, very good thing, very warm for him to do that. But again, in spite of those tips, I failed in next two interviews. So, but then it was learning. And then the fourth interview was my run back C interview. So I used to work with a company called Run Back C, and I got in the fourth attempt. And then I said, as I mentioned, there has been continuously different failures. If you name some of them, I don't know whether you will consider this as a failure, bigger failure now, but at that point of time, it was big for me. So pharma, 10 years, it was good. But then again, yeah, Subiksha, again, I joined the next company called Subiksha. The biggest issues, I would not say failure, when I was moving from Ranbaxy, where I was comfortably placed, moved into retailing, a lot of people told me that it's a wrong move. Because you're comfortably placed with a good company, which is rated one of the best in India. You're moving to an unknown company, which is just scaling up. And I said, okay, let me take a chance. I've been there in pharma for 10 years. That again, I took a step. Unfortunately, the company sank. Okay, so Biksha, the company itself was into big problems, board level issues, where the company had to close. So that time, you get a lot of negative things from the public, right? We told you not to move. You didn't listen, and you took this step. Then you went to retailing. Now you see what happens. Your career is at stake. So that was a very tough time. That was a difficult period. But then yes, I was keeping cool, thinking that yes, I've done already 12 years of work, so I should be getting something. It's not that difficult to get a job. But then yes, again, in spite of working in Subiksha, again I started attending interviews. But a few of them, some people selected, but I didn't get the opportunity. Yeah, sorry,
Some
some
internet problem, I think. Yes, you're
Fortunately,
back.
I was interviewed by Dr. Azad Moopen. So it's none other than him. So it was a great experience. Hello.
Yes, there's some connection problem, I think, but could you continue speaking? Is a network issue over there?
Yeah, where did me?
You're talking about you being interviewed with Dr. Azad Mopan.
Yeah, yeah. So he did the interview for Astor, and being from Calicut, we're all fans of Dr. Azad Mupar, who have set up Calicut, MIMS hospital, which was a unique hospital. So and this person was a mystery for most of us because he is in Dubai and he has set up something in Calicut. So it was a very real, honor for me to meet him that time. And he did the interview, and fortunately, I was selected. But that was again a different role. But then, yes, after getting into Astor, yes, professional failures were there. A lot of job-related challenges. But overall, this all will be the biggest failures, I would say.
Interesting. I met one gentleman once who said that there are no failures in life, there's only tuition fees,
That's true. That's true. What you said.
right? Uh, when you look at the interview that went out where Dr. Azam Open recruited you, and then very quickly you started growing in ranks and being very close to him and doing a lot of things and getting more and more responsibilities. What qualities do you think you brought to the table that made you attractive for him?
Yeah, what I consider myself, that question actually should be answered by him, probably. But what I consider myself is that I am a quick learner. That's something which I am proud of myself. Any situation, I'm more adaptable.
Hmm.
Adaptability, I consider that's a very big trait. You are in a different team, you are in a different location, environment. You have to work with different kind of people. I'm more adaptable, and I always have this spark of learning and understanding things. And I mentioned people development has been my very strong area. So to lead a project, especially if it's a mammoth project in Wayanad, and with very clear, tight timelines, I felt these were the few things that really helped me. And being a salesman, that was my first job. So sales gives you a lot of good things: how to interact with people, how to convince them, how to take them into confidence. Obviously, I've doing that for 10 years, so that has also been, probably the people skills or the interaction skills, interpersonal skills, I would say, was
Hmm.
also a big strength. And I was not also what do you say, not averse to any challenge, any new thing thrown. Say, for example, this medical college project, when it was suggested by Dr. Azad, I did not have any clue about a medical college. My only experience was going to medical colleges. So I even asked him what made you, but he said it's more of coordination, which I think you can do, and it's more of people leading people. So he had an eye, I would say, to identify that I can do it. So I owe it to him. And but I think these were the biggest traits, positive traits I would consider.
Yeah. And if I were to sum up all that you said right now, I would just put it into one, which is the growth mindset.
Yes, yeah, obviously. As you
Yeah.
know, these are all somehow imprinted is in your mind, right? Because you come from a middle class family. your resources were very limited those days, right? My father had limited resources, but yeah, he gave us good education. All basics were given. So you always have that spark in you to do something good in life, succeed, grow up. So that growth mindset, yeah, like you said, was always been there. So yes, that would have been the growth. Sorry, the made most positive thing.
So, is coming from a middle class family a limitation or a liability?
No,
Or
no, I would say middle class family in the sense. I would say when you I'm talking about 26, 28 years back. Things were slightly different then. In sense, now middle class has, I would say that I'm talking about over middle class. So with limited and other things, my father efforts, which student, child accepted. So
so, I'm
I
not able to hear you clearly. I
give
think there is some network
not
issue over
give.
there on your side. There's a network issue. I'm not able to clearly hear your side.
No, I'm I
The
speak.
network, I think Hyderabad is a cyber city, I thought, right? How is the network connections in Hyderabad?
Yeah,
Do they have
net-
strong broadband
network
connections?
is good actually. I don't know what happened. Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
broadband
Maybe.
act actually. It's high speed internet only. Yeah, is
Yeah.
it okay
Now
now?
it's back. Now it is okay. Now it's come back.
Yeah. So probably I don't know any work or something is happening in the background. They do the upgradation
Maybe.
and all during weekends. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. The middle class is something which has grown in India. The time where we were studying, it is considered as a lower middle class. So obviously, salary was limited. The needs, we dream of some things. We aspire for getting things, certain things which were not available for us. So that actually is good. I would say it's good because it creates a spark in you to do well. You know
Hmm.
that okay, your father has been struggling, so you should reach a level where you can support your family and you can really be a successful. I would not say he was not successful, but he was at that level where he was finding it difficult to match with the needs. So
Hmm.
that spark comes in. So that's why you can see a lot of people who have grown to a different level. Have most of them have now come from that middle class families. So I think I also was fortunate to be that. That now you look at it, I think it is a blessing.
I know your father passed away, but what were the lessons that he imprinted in your mind from a very young age?
My father, you asking?
Yeah. What were the lessons that he imprinted in your mind?
Yeah, he was a very happy-go-lucky person actually, and he had never had a tension or something in life. So that's something which I've learned. He was very very social, in sense he used to interact. He had a lot of friends, who really like him, and we I don't know if you know Hindu Purana. We have a particular character called Karna in
Okay.
Mahabharata. Karna used to give away everything.
Hmm.
That was my father's nature. He used to give away. He used to like it so much. So we used to
Hmm.
say that it's good that you don't have this kavacha kundala. That's what you say. Karna gives it away and he loses his life. So you always should tease him that don't have that to give away. Otherwise, he used to give. But that's a
Hmm.
good trait. You have to give. He was very very connected to the family and that way he was really good. So you learn a lot of things from your father that way. A lot of nice things. Even with limited resources, he had given a mandate that you have to study. I will go to any extent to get you good education, and he used to buy me a lot of books. So all these things, this all things he has really given a lot of support during my education and other things. Yes, with all his limitations. So you understand that things don't come easy, so you have to work
Hmm.
for it and to get there with some struggle. So I think these are all the great lessons.
Any Any interview question that you remember from your first interview with Dr. Azad Mukha?
Sorry, broke off. Sorry
Yeah.
for that.
Any particular question do you remember from your first interview with doctor?
Interview with Dr. Azad
Hello?
asking. Can you hear me?
The network is really struggling.
I'm sorry about this.
Probably we should
Why you
reschedule this.
connected to?
I don't know. Should we reschedule the
I
interview or
we can. Can how is it now?
now it's come back?
I don't know. Some probably some maintenance is going on. I think otherwise it's I do take a lot of calls in this network, so it's not an
Okay.
issue. So you are asking about the interview with Dr. Azad Mukan.
Yeah. Do you remember any particular interview question, either with him or with any of the people who have interviewed you? One
Yeah,
question that
well,
has
all
stood
those
in
things
your
were
mind.
still lot of see one specific thing I remember is that when you okay I had put in about 12 years of experience when I met Dr. Azad when I was meeting him. So one specific thing I remember is that he has a unique way of interviewing, and I had gone with all the professional attire, because I come from sales, so you are used to the professional attire, and then you are waiting. Okay, Dr. Azad Mupan will come and he will start the you are prepared for that English level of questions, right? The moment I got in, he asked in Malayalam, actually. It was a big surprise, Then he started talking in Malayalam for some time. Oh, from which part of Calicut are you? All those things, Faro College, all those things. He also is an alumni of Faro College. So he was asking all those things. And then about 5 minutes, he just switches to English. So later I understood that it's probably I don't know. I have not never asked him this. It's a trick probably to understand how good actually the person is in English in communication, how comfortable he is in switching languages. So that was something which stood to me and very comfortable. Where he had I think 1.5 hours of interview with me, which was more or less very comfortable actually. He makes people very comfortable during the interview. So these are things you learn from your leaders and try to apply in life. So specific question, yes, I was in sales, I was in retailing, I was taking up a role of manager recruitment India. That was a role where I had to recruit people from India to the Middle East countries, doctors, nurses, pharmacists. So one specific question he asked, you have come from sales and you are now getting into recruitment. How do you think you will be successful in doing it? So this was one specific question. I still remember that.
And what is your answer?
I gave an answer saying that I since I come from sales and also I have met a lot of doctors in this zone in Kerala. Obviously, I was working in Kerala only in pharma, but doctor interaction is something where I'm an expert, and the most important and valuable resource to recruit is a doctor in the healthcare scenario in the ecosystem. Doctors are the most difficult people to recruit. So where I am very strong. So, getting a nurse and pharmacist or any other paramedical, if I can recruit a doctor, will be a very easy thing for me. And I know how to meet them, how to convince them, how to create a good network with them. This is what I've been doing, past 10 years. So I think it will not be a tough thing for me to do. So I think this was my answer, if I vaguely remember.
Hmm. Yeah. The reason why I'm asking is also because my audiences, there would be people who are starting off in their journeys, in their careers, and they have a lot of apprehension when they go and meet interviews and they meet people like you, who's going to
Yes,
ask. It's for them to understand the mindset behind interviews, what happens, and how things are. Uh, when someone wants to kickstart a career, there are times where they don't get what they want,
yes,
similar to what happened to you,
yes,
right? What would you tell them, those kind of people who have to start somewhere? Should they start somewhere, or today's young generation is about, uh, I will do only things that I'm passionate about, I'll only do things where I can do it for the next 10, 15, 20 years? what would your advice be to those people?
Yeah. So, Samir, this is a very interesting and a little difficult question to answer. Why? Because there are purpose in individual. There are no answer for this question. Decision also taken for this. Why? Because impact something want to get that only. Few people who have been there 3 or 4 years.
So can I pause again? The network is again struggling. So just let us just rebalance the network. Are you there? Yes, you're back now. Hello.
Yes, I don't know what happened. There is a the as I mentioned, there are yes or right or wrong answers on this particular very difficult decision to make for an individual. And is chasing some dream of his or hers. So now, if uh, I will say, I would you can always do.
I'm not able to hear.
Oh, is it okay?
Unfortunate.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
There is a network issue. No, it is from my side.
Let me just reconnect it again.
Yeah,
Can I reconnect again? Minute time.
you could try. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
wait for you.
I'll just leave and just join in 2 minutes.
Okay. So that is about the interview that we're doing with Devanand Kolothodi. And listening to him, I see a pattern of how there are a lot of people who are successful who really appreciate the failures in life. And he is one of them. He's one of those people who, if you have heard so far the interview, you would have listened to how he has passionately spoken about his failures and said that failures is what keeps him going. Failures is where he learns from. Failures is what has contributed largely to his growth. It's something that perhaps is a moment of reflection for you. If you're struggling somewhere at this point of time, if there is a challenge that you're faced with, if there is a pain that you're going through, and if you feel like a failure, perhaps it's just good to think that you're not a failure. It's just that there are certain things that you failed at, and those failures are teaching you something, it's reminding you something, it's helping you realize which area to focus on, which areas you can work upon, and what you can do. Failure is probably just a feedback mechanism. So explore where it is in your within your failures that you need to pay a little bit more attention, do a little bit more activity, and hopefully grow a little bit more. As you ponder upon that, we'll continue to wait for Devanand for a few more minutes. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section and we will address them. It is a one-to-one call, and we have Devanand back here.
Yes. Sorry about that. I'm again
No, it's fine.
reconnecting through another device. I don't know what happened to the network. So is it okay
Yes,
now?
it's fine. It's much better.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Do you remember where
Yeah.
we were at the end?
Yeah, we were. I think you were asking the questions. Probably the decision to be taken whether they should
By a
go.
youngster who is looking at.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. There is no yes or no or right or wrong in that. It's all about passion. There are people who don't want to distract themselves. They want to pursue their passion, whatever maybe the consequences. They just wanted to wait. I know few people who have done that. They've sacrificed 3 or 4 years to reach a specific level. One of my known person who wanted to become a doctor, he did not crack entrance. He went for it. 4 year attempts he made, and fourth attempt he cracked that. He's now a pediatrician in Calicut. So there are people like that. But I come from a different school, so I felt that I should not be uh, wasting my time, because I had to depend or support my family that time, as I mentioned, due to various of my family reasons. So I took the decision of getting into a job first and try something later in terms of a post graduation or higher education. So, as I mentioned, there are no right or wrong, but don't waste your time. Waiting for your passion, working towards it can happen. It should definitely happen, but at the same time, you should always use your time productively. Don't sit at home and say that okay, next year entrance will come, till then I will not do anything. I'll just work for entrance. Yes, preparing for entrance is a good thing, but at the same time, do something, learn a new skill, learn a new do a part-time job, at least get something going for yourself, so that you keep you motivated. That would be my advice.
Here's a question from one of the audience who's listening in right now.
Okay.
It says over here on the screen, you can see, is there any tool to identify success and failure?
Is there any tool to identify success or failure? Oh,
In
no,
failure.
absolutely. And failure?
Yeah.
No, no, absolutely
In
not.
failure. So when you're failing and you
Oh,
are
okay.
looking for,
Success in failure. Okay, okay. Sorry. I got it wrong initially. Identify success in failure. Yes, obviously yes, because you when you fail, things have not gone your way. So you have planned certain things, your planning or your thought process or the concepts that you had uh, doing a particular activity or a particular line of thought, or the where you wanted to reach ultimately. That whole thought process was, or the activation, or the initiation or implementation, it would have gone wrong somewhere. That's why you are leading to a failure. So you can come back and see where you went wrong. So obviously, if you correct that, you will it lead to success. So obviously, any failure, obviously there is you can identify that you have successful in certain areas and failed in certain areas. That ultimately the failure portions had a more impact. That's why it reached an ultimate failure, or you lost it. So obviously there will be always success elements in any failure things. So that's what I feel.
hmm, where do you see yourself heading towards in your own journey?
Yeah, my own journey, I am really content, I would say. In sense, I was aspiring to become probably a supervisor or a leader or a manager level. That was my aspiration when I started off. And I have reached a CEO level. I thought probably that would be my end of my career as a CEO of hospital. Now I'm managing 7 hospitals as a regional CEO. So you don't know. At this point of time, if you ask me, I'm really content with what I have at this point of time. I'm really enjoying my work, and there are a lot of challenges in work. So obviously, that really drives you to do on a daily basis. You drives you to do good work. And where do you go from here? Probably I may do something on my own. As I mentioned, food is my passion, so I may start something on my own, probably as a restaurant or something. So
Restaurant
ultimately, that would be
or a
the,
food blogging channel?
yeah, maybe yes. But food bloggers are too many now. So I don't know whether we have a space for another person to come there.
But there are
But
so many
yes,
hospitals also. Asta has managed to stand out in the crowd.
yes, we have a lot of hospitals now. See, in the growth level that way, career wise. Obviously, now I'm managing a cluster, and there are obviously changes that might happen to organization in terms of structure, and there are certain things that's happening in Aster now very soon. So there may be opportunities to manage bigger, more number of hospitals. So role will always keep on changing, and that's something you reach a level, things will come to you on your own. You don't have to chase it. You have to just do your good work. It'll come. So that's what has been my experience in Aster. You do good work, things will come to you.
Hmm. What has been the most? I You did mention that there are people who you have groomed and they have reached CEO levels, and they've whose journey that you were a part of is the most memorable and the most
That
rewarding for yourself.
if I name someone, that will be injustice to others. So I don't know.
As an
There will
example,
be example I can tell you. Example I can tell you. I don't want to name the people because there were a lot of people like that. So others should not
okay,
feel that. They may consider that, yeah, I help them the most. Some people have that feeling. So if I name someone, that could be a wrong thing to do. But I'll specifically mention about what do you say, a leader or a person who, I would not say he's a leader at this point of time, but he has spark of being a leader. This boy was actually a plus two graduate, not a graduate, sorry, plus two candidate. Okay, he was doing something like what do you say, an office boy kind of a work. And one day he came and met me, because mostly people have that freedom to come and meet me, even though I was leading, I was heading the whole thing. Open door policy is always there. People can at any level can come in, walk in, and share their concerns, experiences. So he was not happy with the increment that he got. He said that with an office boy, doing this kind of work, there is no increment. In sense, yes, you will have expectations, but there is a percentage can be allotted to every employee. But if you want to get more salary or grow yourself, get a new skill, grow up, and in terms of your education and skills, that's what change more salary.
the network is again
So
failing.
he said, what to do? I said, you have to get a graduation immediately. What can you help me? How can you help me? I said, you do graduation. Oh, 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 oh. Is it okay now?
It's okay now. I think, yeah, it's okay. You can actually feel like the data packets which are moving, and it's moving in
Hello?
clusters sometimes. Sometimes it is moving seamlessly. So, yeah,
Oh, yeah. So, sorry. So, is it okay now?
it's okay now.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening. Usually, the network here is very solid. I take official calls, a lot of calls also from home. So,
Hmm.
so this boy asked me what could I do to him if he gets a graduation or he becomes a
Okay.
graduate. And I said, yes, officially, when we have different positions coming in, we will definitely help you in getting something. And I said, see, being an office boy and expecting very big salary raise is not going to happen. That's not practical. So you have to change your role. So now, and then he went and he came back after 3 years saying that, now I'm a graduate and, you have to help me. I said, yes, I keep my word, because I've only, and he used to come in between, to say that, okay, I've joined and, but after 3 years, once he completed, he came back. So we placed him in, we changed his role from office boy to a clerical level role, as a, in one of the college that we had. And then from there, he was extremely smart and, very committed. And he's now rose to a level where he is handling the entire administration of that college almost. So, he has been a real change, I would say, in terms of somebody with a level of office boy coming to an administrator level. Yes, that would have been a big change. But yes, there are a lot of other people who have come from different streams. Like, say, for example, I had a nursing leader who wanted to change role. So she wanted to know how to. She was again coming and saying that, okay, I wanted to lead a bigger hospital. I said, but where are you going? After all, you go to a from a 200-bed hospital, you'll go to a 500-bed hospital. Probably you'll manage 5 or 6 hospitals like me, but you will be still in nursing. Okay, so you want to do that or you want to move? And she said, yes, I would definitely would love to get into an administration. Then, we worked out something and she got into TIS and she completed her management from TIS and she's now almost ready to get into the administration. So lot of examples like that. You should not
Mm.
see what one thing I specifically have learned is that, when your good colleagues come to you with a good opportunity, you should let them go. There is no, see, that's something many leaders don't do because they fear that, okay, if I lose him, that is not right for me, my team to perform well. But that's something which you have to always keep in mind, that you have to let them grow. You have to be on their own. You have to support them. So, they grow and they become good leaders. You tell them that, okay, you have to also support people when they come to you in future. So there are a lot of instances, but probably yes, this particular boy's case, I would say, is one of the life changing, I would say.
While listening to you, what I'm sensing is this: when you see people, you don't see them just as they are. You also see them as who they could become, possibly, and in their own minds, you awaken that possibility,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That's what I do. That's what I wanted to. I've been practicing for years. That's something, you see the goodness in them. If you start focusing only on that, neither you will benefit nor they'll benefit. You can always tell them that, okay, these are things which you can improve. But obviously, when you see the spark, try to handhold them, support them wherever they are having issues or challenges, and then develop them into a new role. After all these positions, these designations all are only for limited period, right? So till I retire, I have this all these fancy designations. After you retire, how do people remember you? That matters the most.
Yeah, and this is quite in alignment with my way of thinking, also in terms of when you are out there to make a difference to others and not just to yourself, then things will happen to you as well. I'm just, while you're speaking again, I'm connecting back to the interview that you had where he asked you, you're coming from a sales background, how will you do this job well? And you are not focused about what you can get or what it is about you. You're talking about the organization benefit. You're talking about how it will impact them and why it is beneficial for them. And that is often not a lot of the mindset of people who are getting into jobs. They're always thinking, will I be able to do well in this job? What can I get? How much salary will I make? Is the primary focus of most people, versus shifting to how can I contribute to this organization's success. If that is the approach that people take while recruiting for a job, then they're not going to throw their CV at 20 or 30 different companies and hope one will work. They'll actually do their research and they really make sure that what they're looking for is very aligned. Does that resonate?
Yeah, exactly. Because what happens is, some people, I would not say, again, it's not a something which is the norm. But what I see in many people, candidates that we interview now, they keep on shifting very fast. 1.5 years, 2 years, they move from company to company. I would not say it's bad, but it takes some time to understand how a company works, to understand the culture, and to deliver. You know, by the time you deliver, you're out. So actually, but the answer most of the candidates give is that, I wanted to learn, I want to learn new things, I want a new organization we work in. That's why I keep on moving. Probably one thing is money. You being in an organization, you try to grow inside the organization. The monetary benefits will not be as good as when you switch company to company. So that could be one reason. But ultimately, since I've last 26 years, I've worked only for 3 companies. I have a different thought process on that. You have to be patient. You have to be patient, and wherever you are good, try to make it more strong. So you are considered as the authority. in certain areas where you are working, right? So that will get you or fetch you good benefits at a longer term. Otherwise, you will be considered as a jack of all trades with no specific expertise in any area. So it's
Mm.
better to focus on your core area and work. At the same time, uh, the uh, the challenges when it comes to you, many people consider it as what do you say, an additional burden. Why should I take it? It's not part of my JD. It's not part of my KPI. Why should I take it up? Unless until you learn new skills, you develop your new knowledge, you are never going to grow. So I keep on telling my colleagues also the same thing. You have to be ready to take up newer challenges. You have to be ready for newer assignments or tasks where you are not comfortable taking it. You should not be comfortable. If you are comfortable something, it will be boring. You should not be comfortable something. It should excite you, and it will get you
Mm.
a new. So people, yes, when they come into job, they don't ask these kind of questions. They usually ask, what will be my salary? What will be my career progression? Right, boss? That will come. Career progression will
Yeah.
come unless and once you start proving something and beyond what you are supposed to do. There are different thoughts, but I come from this kind of a thought.
I just had an insight right now about growth while you were speaking. And it is growth lies in the task that you do outside your JD,
Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely right. Uh,
right?
I will completely connect with that because I have been doing that, and that's why I've
Mm.
got growth. That's what I would consider. If you just do your job and come in the morning and finish your job and go back in the evening, you're never going to grow. Never going to grow. So you have to take outside your JD, then you grow. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And I also always say this, if you continue doing what is in your JD, you will continue getting paid what is there in the JD. If you want to get more, you have to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
more.
true. Very
If you
true.
want to
So
get
if you
more,
want
you
to
have
get
to
more
do more.
money, yes, do more, do different. No,
Do
you
more, do
do
different.
more, but do differently, different ways, different things
Mm.
in different ways. Then yes, your role changes. Improve or multiply your salary is to change your roles in the same company. If you know the systems well, it's easy for you to align to any kind of task in that company when you are very comfortable with that task.
Yeah.
So try to focus on that and try to grow from that, take new challenges in the same company. It will come to you.
Yeah. I have heard this beautiful one liner again about success. Successful people are masters of the mundane, people who continue to do what they do repeatedly, right? Over and over and over again. And today's generation, like you said, is used to flipping through short videos rather than seeing long form videos. They don't have patience to not not only the youngsters, even the older people are getting into the mode where they're looking for short term gratifications.
I'm sorry, Samir. I'm
You're not able to hear. I think we're coming to the end of the conversation. Uh, Today was a bit of a challenge in terms of network. So, for the viewers, whoever is out there listening, apologies. Some things are beyond our control. Failure, as we talked about today, can happen. And in the face of it, how do you face it? Is a question. Today, we faced a challenge with the network. Despite it, did we learn something? I did.
Samir, sorry. Yeah, yeah, sorry about that. Again, some problem.
Yes.
So I did not hear you clearly.
Yeah, I was saying today we were talking about failures and our network was failing us multiple times. So it was God's way of teaching us about failures and how to face
Yeah,
it and how to just be with it and
that's true.
not.
You have to go back and see where you have failed.
Yeah, go back and see where you failed, go back and see what you're learning from this. Maybe it's God's way of reminding us
Yes,
or the universe way of reminding us to take a
that's
pause,
true.
to reflect, to
Yes,
use the opportunity to think rather than get frustrated. It's very easy to get frustrated when you're failing. It's very easy to be dejected when
Yes,
we
true.
have, very easy to lose our patience when we don't get things going the way we want it to go. And today's conversation, actually, I would say, is a good reminder. The network was a good reminder for us that it's easy to give up when things don't go right. Uh, the hard thing is to stay on course. The hard thing is to be with it and just continue the journey and then see what comes up for us. And what are your closing remarks when
Yeah,
uh,
nice. Closing remarks. As I mentioned, right, it should be you should have a dream first, and dream can be anything. Dream, you can dream for anything. Unless until you dream, you will not reach anywhere. So if today I'm a regional CEO, I to dream for a bigger thing. I am managing seven. Probably my wish would be to become a bigger cluster CEO or an India CEO later, right? So that dream should always be there. Otherwise, nothing will drive you. It will become boring, monotonous for you. And when you start your career, same thing should happen. You should know where you are going. You should always ask your supervisors, what will be my career journey? That's a question many people don't ask their managers. Where I will be after 3 years? What's your plan for me in the next 3 to 5 years? That question you should ask. Every employee should go and ask their manager or supervisor about this question. Then you'll get a lot of answers. The manager also would not have thought about it. Okay, many times it
mm,
happens. So once you know that, then they may say that, okay, to reach there, I expect you to do certain things. I want you to develop. That's a good point to start with, to grow your career, to reach where you want to reach. So it is something, it's a challenging thing, but at the same time, very, what do you say, interesting, because you know that you have it's like you are taking a journey, right? You
mm,
want to reach a destination. You know that, okay, there are multiple stops at different places, and you reach ultimately. So that you have to have a clear plan, especially in terms of career. When we are discussing in life, yes, of course, you should also have some hobbies. You should not only restrict yourself to work. You should have some distractions from your job, to make your mind, obviously, clean, open for new ideas and concepts. And always take time for your family. That is very important. Ultimately, you are making money, or you're doing this high profile job. Everything is to satisfy your family. So your family should not tomorrow say that, you are completely engrossed in your work and we are not getting you. That
mm,
comes in, even though you are prepared, but and try to, deliberately make up some time for the family. That is very important. The time that you lose, you'll never get it back. So, now, since my father is gone last 2 years, uh, I feel that I should have spent more time with him. But now there is no point of going back, right? So those things, those times, you should always enjoy. Pick up a good hobby and enjoy your work. That's the most important thing. Enjoy, you do what you are doing. Always try to help others, and enjoy what you're doing every day. Every day you should be happy doing the thing that you are there.
last question, perhaps. My question to you is, what is a dish you love to cook the most?
That's it's a chicken, dish. Basically, it's a dish which was actually my mother's recipe, which I've got trained, because my sister and I am having an age gap of 11 years, so she's younger. So I was the elder. So obviously I had to help my mother in the kitchen. So that's how I got used to this cooking. And there is a chicken preparation which is mostly almost like a little spicy. We say it is chicken molagatal. That's what we say. So it's molaga means so
Yes, chili. Yeah.
chicken, red chili, red chili chicken.
Yes, that's exactly how I started my cooking journey as well, helping my mom. It's been a pleasure, Devanand, speaking to you and learning from you. And I hope when you come down next time to Dubai,
Yeah.
probably we should meet up for catch up for a coffee or something, or maybe even some chicken mulligatawar. All right.
Yeah, sure. Anytime, anytime. Chicken is always on the table. I'll be all. Thank you. Nice
Do you visit
interacting with
Dubai?
you, Samir. Thanks. It was a very open. Give a reminder.
Yes. All right.
Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Do you come to Dubai? Do you visit Dubai?
Okay, sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
Yeah,
right.
I do. I do. Occasionally, we have some programs. We keep on coming. Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care.